I had a really hard time in school.
Emma Norris is dyslexic and was always an outsider at school. But that's all supposed to change now that she's attending the Østerskov Efterskole in Hobro, Denmark. Each week, a new role play is part of the curriculum. Every pupil takes part, and it's incorporated into every subject. The school's concept: no student gets left behind.
No. Hey, can we have some food? Oh, sure. Serve the Baroness first.
The school's 85 pupils and their teachers stay in the game. They remain in character even while eating lunch. Their current role play is called The Testament. An English teacher plays the pastor.
His punishment is a pardon. Amen.
My role is a woman which has 3 children, and she is invited to this whole family party, but the family does not know why they are invited. They don't know anybody.
The elderly Baroness Westfield, also played by a teacher, has invited her relatives to visit her one last time. Emma Norris has only been going to the Østerskov school for a few weeks. Beginning in the 8th grade, the Danish school system allows pupils to attend independent boarding schools for up to 3 years. Many of these schools have a special focus.
I want to tell you why we're all here today. And now,
the school employs live-action role play as a way to teach the curriculum. It calls this mix of acting, theater, and interaction learning games. This role play covers the legal aspects of a will, complex family constellations, and the highs and lows of human life. Then Emma goes to a relatively ordinary class. Still, the role play continues.
We need someone from the other family.
Time and again, pupils are taken out of class to participate. Emma has her English lesson, not an easy subject for someone with dyslexia. At her previous school, Emma struggled and felt she was left to cope on her own. Her self-esteem suffered a major blow.
I was very, very shy, and I didn't want to speak up for myself. I didn't have any friends, and I was unsure if I was good enough, if I was pretty, if I was clever enough to be in a school.
At the end of the lesson, someone slips Emma a mysterious document.
This is the document which might tell us why we're here. So we're trying to figure out what it means. And
The Baron's being questioned.
On suspicion of murder.
Like Emma, many of the Østerskov pupils felt like outsiders at their former schools.
Your name is, sir?
Frank Westfield.
Frank Westfield. Oh, yes.
Some students have learning disabilities, ADHD, or autism spectrum disorder. Others are gifted. And many have experienced bullying. But employing role play in regular lessons helps all pupils, says teacher Andreas Miller.
Everything we do is to motivate the students to want to learn something. And they're not learning something because they have to go to an exam or because mother or father or the society says so. They are learning it because they want to learn it. And we may wrap it in games or in funny hats or whatever, but they are usually very motivated. And there are certain types of students who just don't fit into modern school life that really benefits from having something that is much more direct and much more like tangible somehow. It doesn't mean you can't teach really complex matters. It just means that you have to wrap it in a way where the learning makes sense in its own right.
Learning that makes sense. Emma wants to sing its praises. For the first time, she's made friends her own age. They've just taught her to play the piano.
There was a time when I was alone, nowhere to go and no place to call home. My only friend was the man in the moon, and even sometimes he would go away too. Run, run, lost boy, they say to me, away from all of reality. That especially also says something about role play and how you, just for a moment, escape from reality and take some time for yourself. And I think that's maybe why I connect so much to this song.
Emma has regularly taken part in live role-play events for the last 8 years. The 17-year-old spends her allowance on costumes. For her, slipping into another persona is a release.
I felt like I wasn't allowed to cry, so therefore I just had all these feelings inside. But then I got to role play, and I put on a fine-looking dress, and I do some war makeup or something, and then I played this girl who has lost her mother, and then I was allowed to cry because it was role play.
1 week later, the entire school has traveled to Germany for a field trip to Windischleuba Castle in Thüringen. Emma helps her fellow pupils put on makeup for an elaborately staged role play, though there's no audience.
Det hørte du godt, Ella, ikke? Det hørte jeg godt, jo. Fedt.
This helps new pupils like Emma better integrate into the school community, says teacher and game master Morten Kjærgaard.
They get to see the inside of how a theater or film production works. They will learn about how timing, cooperation and other special effects will help them within a game. And apart from that, this is also very much a community creating exercise. So we hope that they will gain friends.
Emma puts on her costume. Then the role play, The Midnight Conclave, begins. It's the year 1532. Inquisitors are executing supernatural beings. Sorceress Baroness von Münchhausen is gravely concerned.
We won't abandon our people and the magical world.
Together with vampires, fairies, sorcerers, and werewolves, the Baroness tries to find a solution. At her castle, they aim to bring peace to the world. But it's not easy as old feuds and animosities resurface. Emma plays the vampire Elvira.
It's very overwhelming because she's only been around one of the 3 kinds of vampires, and now there are 10 different kinds of magic species around her.
This is just one of 70 different role plays that comprise the Danish school's curriculum, including math, biology, chemistry, physics, history, geography, and languages, taught in an unconventional way. And the school's success speaks for itself. 72% of pupils subsequently go on to upper secondary schools where they can take their school leaving exams. That matches the Danish average. The head of the vampires tries to hold Emma's clan together. A few of them have gone rogue.
I think we teach them a way of dealing with problems, think and analyze what happens around them. And this role play is kind of the ultimate test, because they have to walk around, they have to mingle, they have to talk with lots of people who have different opinions. And especially in role play, all the fronts and the opinions are very separated.
Okay.
The role players roam all around the castle. They solve riddles, find mysterious objects, uncover intrigues, have discussions, and fight. 100 people are taking part. Pupils, teachers, even the building manager.
It's the first time for me that I feel comfortable in a school system and with the teachers. Also people that I don't really talk to just come up to me and say, "Oh, it's a really nice costume. I think you're just so sweet and helpful." And that's a very good feeling. It's very good for my self-esteem.
In the evening, the role play reaches its climax. Elvira, alias Emma, sacrifices herself in a ritual. She lets herself be transformed into a human, thereby saving the magical creatures and making the world a more peaceful place.
We've now taken away your memories.
That was very intense. Okay.
She finds the end of the ritual quite moving.
They could say something personal to us, and it was very, very heartbreaking, but in a good way. Oh, yeah.
You were great.
Thanks.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
After just a few weeks at the Østerskov school, Emma already feels better equipped to deal with life.
Østerskov is giving me, what could I say, an armor that I can put on, so I will be able to stand up for myself and to tell people that if they don't like me, it's not my problem. Because I am me, and they have to accept me and respect me as I am.
Once she graduates, Emma plans to become a nursery school teacher. She already knows she'll use role play as a pedagogical tool in her future profession.